Good to be here. Been a crazy year. I had a COVID scare recently. I was drinking a soda and I couldn't taste anything. And then I realized it was just a LaCroix. You know? All right, it's just the first joke. All right, it's gonna get better from here. I'm a little rusty. My job's been illegal for the last year, so just been sitting around collecting unemployment. You know, pretty humbling when the government is like, "Hey, we'll pay you to not tell jokes." Thought it was going okay. I'm not gonna lie, though, it was pretty nice when that $600 bonus was active. I was making like 80% of my normal salary as a comedian. But now I didn't have to pay for plane tickets or hotels or sex. I was saving so much money. I hate that joke is so believable, but all right. But vaccines here, so I'm back to work. I got a vaccine. Who's vaccinated? Round of applause, anybody here? Yeah. He didn't clap, get him! No, I'm just kidding. He goes like, oh shit. I got a vaccine. It was Johnson & Johnson, so I don't know if that counts anymore. Thanks for coming to my last show. No, you know what? I gotta give Biden some credit. I think he did a great job getting the vaccine out quickly. I mean, obviously it helps to have a son who knows where to get drugs. That joke would have worked for either president. Calm down, just covering the bases. I'm pretty liberal as a person. I think as a comedian, though, it's only fair to make fun of both sides a little bit. Some audiences do not appreciate that, though. There's a video on my YouTube channel of Trump supporters trying to boo me off stage, if you're into that kind of thing. I wasn't really laughing at the time, but I was doing a show recently. This woman chased me down into the parking lot. She's like, "You made fun of both Trump and Biden, but I couldn't tell. Which side are you on?" I go, "Hey, my only allegiance is to the truth." And she goes, "But that's Trump." And I was like, the opposite side of you. Yeah. Not much to talk about there, you know? I don't know why people are so hesitant to get the vaccine. I mean, there's rumors that there's like a microchip or whatever. I don't think that's true. I don't think there's a microchip in the I do think there's a microchip in the My Pillows. I think that's what's going on. It's obviously connected to a tiny speaker that just whispers subliminal messaging. Every night as you lay down to bed, it's like, "The election was stolen. The election was stolen. You're very manly." You know, it just keeps... What do they call those things? A white noise machine? That was such a roller coaster of emotion on that joke. You guys were like, "We like this joke." Wait a second. It's still pretty good. Yeah, it's all right. A lot of cops don't want to get the vaccine, it seems like. They're all going viral on TikTok lately. "After 27 years of service, the governor can kiss my ass." That's surprising to me. I thought the cops would want to get the vaccine. They're usually very eager to take a shot, but I know. I guess cops like COVID around as long as possible because it attacks minorities better than they can. And I know they should stop doing that. I agree with you. I don't know. Maybe a cop is like, "Look, I've already got qualified immunity. That's got to protect me from pretty much everything, you know." Here's what I think. I think we need all the fired cops and all the fired flight attendants to switch jobs. We need more cops that'll just smile and hand you a Pepsi. And we need more flight attendants that'll beat the shit out of people. What's going on? Did everybody forget how to act in public? It's crazy. I keep waiting for someone to freak out on my flight, you know? It hasn't happened yet, but I stay ready every time. I keep all my devices charged. Yeah, I'm not intervening physically. No, I'm not. I just want to film it. I'm finally going viral. All right. Follow me also, you know. Sorry I'm so divisive. I don't know. I try not to be. I actually dated a girl that was a Trump supporter for a couple months, you know. Just trying to do my part to reach across the aisle, you know. More like reach around the aisle. But she ended up dumping me because I kept making fun of Trump. That was a big deal breaker for her. She ended up sending me like a 6-page breakup email. And at the very bottom, she wrote, "It's a shame people let politics divide us like this." I was like, "You're the one that's upset. I'm still trying to fuck you. I don't understand, you know? I thought we could just come together, you know? If we can just look at things from a different perspective, like doggy style. I'm sure." I gotta stop talking about my failed relationships on stage, though. Girls tell me all the time that they hate it, which is weird to me, you know? Taylor Swift writes a whole album about her exes and everyone loves it, you know? I write an album about my exes and a judge tells me to stop playing it on her voicemail, track by track. You know, it's such a double standard. Such a crazy time, though. Hopefully, you know, one thing we can take away from this mess is recognizing the things that are actually important to us, right? And for me, I couldn't have made it through this last year without family, with money. I mean, that just made a huge difference. My brother lives in Hollywood because he's a big-time movie director. You might have seen some of his work, actually. He does all the TV commercials for Taco Bell. That's not a joke, by the way. That's his real job. That's a real job. I feel let down by my high school guidance counselor. He gets paid millions of dollars to go, "When I yell action, eat the taco." I guess, yeah, I don't know. Stay away from the dog, he's a biter. You know? Also, I've never been in a Taco Bell commercial. How is that possible? Have you seen my hair? It's perfect. Thought Hollywood was all about nepotism. Guess it doesn't run in my family. Hey, just explain that one to everyone later. My brother's got 2 kids, so I go visit him all the time. They're great. I still remember the day he told me I was going to be an uncle, because he came downstairs after work, was like, "We're having a baby, and we need you to move out." And I was like, "What? This is how you treat family? This is ridiculous." But the kids are 6 and 4 now, which is such a good age because they can actually walk and talk and get me stuff from the fridge. But you got to be careful. They're smarter than you think. I had an incident. I always fly with a full-size pillow, and that's weird to people. I'm sure flight attendants make fun of me, but I don't really care. I just smoke a bunch of pot and wake up in a new city. It's the best way to travel, right? But recently I was visiting my brother, and his 4-year-old comes running up to me. She goes, "You forgot your pillow last time." And I go, "Wow, how did you remember that it was my pillow?" She goes, "It smells like you." And I was like, "Whoa." She doesn't know it yet, but 10 years she's gonna be at a Kanye show. Like, "This concert smells like my uncle." You know, it's like, someone's burning rope over here. My brother got baptized for the first time at age 40, and when my parents found out, they started freaking out, and they called me up and they said, "We're worried about your brother. We need you to check up on him." I was like, "Hey, relax. You know, as far as a midlife crisis goes, Jesus is pretty mild. You know, like, it could be worse. At least he's not buying a Corvette and abandoning his family." Too close to home for Buffalo. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up past drama, but I was like, "Hey, you know what? Next time I'm down, I'll check up on him." So next time I was visiting my brother, I called my parents and go, "It's worse than we could have imagined. He's into Kanye, you know? Not the old Kanye, the new Kanye." My brother loves Kanye West, Jesus, and fencing, so somehow I turned out to be the normal one in the family. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Jesus. It's good for his life and his family. It just sucks because sometimes he gets a little judgy when I want to catch a buzz. We took a family vacation recently and rented an Airbnb together. End of the night, I opened the door to just go smoke a joint on the porch. And my brother starts freaking out. He's like, "Don't do it out there. It's not legal. I don't want the neighbors to freak out." And I was like, "Wow, I knew weed made you paranoid, but I thought you had to smoke it first, you know? Like, also, we're in Florida. I don't think they're gonna care. They'll just be happy I'm not doing bath salts at that point, right?" I get it. I used to be embarrassed that I smoked pot until I started touring the country as a comedian, and I realized how popular OxyContin is. And I was like, I'm doing fine, you know? I think... It's like speeding, you know? Drugs are like speeding, because speeding is illegal, But as long as you're going with the flow of traffic, nobody's gonna care, right? But if you're going 80 and some guy flies by you at 150, who do you think the cops are going after? Exactly, the black guy doing 55. But that's besides the point. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't want to be a hassle, so I'm like, hey, where should I go? He goes, across the street, there's an abandoned field. Just go smoke out there. I don't want the neighbors to freak out. So I'm standing in an empty field at 1 a.m, like, yeah, I think this is worse. You know, I'm sure the neighbors won't mind looking out their window, just seeing a dark, shadowy figure across the street, a lighter flicking in the wind, you know, as the fog rolls in. Looking like a scarecrow came to life, you know. I'm sure there'll be 0 911 calls about this in the morning. So then I smoke my joint. I'm trying to find my way back to the condo, but it's one of those buildings where all the units look the same, right? So I'm at building J, trying to find building C, like a backwards alphabet DUI test, you know? Just tiptoeing through Nana's rose bushes, like, is this one? No, sorry. Didn't want to freak the neighbors out. So I ended up giving up, and I called my brother to come rescue me. And then, you know, we go inside. He's giving me this big lecture on drugs and Jesus. And at the end of it, I go, so you're telling me that whenever you feel anxious, you just remember that Jesus loves you and everything's okay? And he's like, exactly. And I was like, that's what drugs do for me. You know, like, you're talking to a guy who's not there. I have imaginary friends. We're not that different. You know, I think you should try drugs. You probably like it, you know? That was about 2 years ago, and now he grows pot in his backyard. So I won the conversion battle. Yeah. Take that, Jesus. All right. Oh, that was too far? All right. You're not going to like the next couple jokes, but Christmas is coming up. I'm excited to go visit the kids again. Although they're upset this year because there's a mall Santa shortage. You know, they haven't seen Santa in a couple years. And there's not enough mall Santas because of COVID, because they're all high risk, you know? They're all jolly and they don't get enough vitamin D at the North Pole. So the only mall Santas this year are going to be COVID denier Santas, which is handy because they already have a red hat. All right, well, it's like, I want a Transformer for Christmas. Too bad you get Plandemic. It took you guys a little too long to get that one, so I don't know. We'll keep it around. The kids are back in school now, which is crazy. I can't believe we're doing school still with COVID. I mean, kids are giant balls of disease in the first place. There's no way this ends well. That's probably why COVID doesn't affect them, right? Coronavirus enters a kid's body, all the other diseases are like, seats taken, you know? Kids are basically giant bats. They hang upside down, they poop on everything. They use high-pitched screeches to move around, but I think schools are doing a good job. They're very prepared for COVID. If a kid gets sick and dies, they already have plenty of chalk to outline the body. So that's gonna I think that guy who started groaning before he even got to, he's like, I just know where you're going with this. You're a horrible person. You should repent. I live in Seattle, and it's great. I picked up hiking as my pandemic hobby this year. What better for your depression than to be alone in the woods for several hours, you know? Just looking over cliffs like, I bet that would hurt, you know? At least if I fell, I'd feel something, you know? Oh, it's just a joke, relax. You're not gonna see me on the news tomorrow. They wouldn't cover it. But I was worried about bears at first because I'm a pussy. And I was doing some research. It's very confusing because it says online, like, oh, if it's a brown bear, do one thing, but if it's a black bear, do the complete opposite. I'm like, that's fine, but how do I explain to the bear that I don't see color? You know, I'm one of the good ones, bear. I'm on your side. So I went back online. It turns out there's like a nursery rhyme for bears. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It goes, if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. I was like, I think they got that from LAPD. Actually, that's where that came. Oh, If it's a polar bear, you say, all lives matter, and he lets you go, so that's... Okay. Let's not clap for the wrong reasons. I don't want to start a rally. Okay. We're having fun. I have a shirt for sale after the show so the government doesn't know I make money. It's a joke about people with fake service dogs, right? Because I have a friend that has a service dog, but it's a Chihuahua. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that counts. And she's like, no, it helps with my anxiety. I'm like, the dog shakes more than you do. Like, I think your service dog needs a service dog, to be honest. So it's just an emotional support t-shirt, right? Because if you're feeling sad and you don't have your service dog or your vape pen, you just pet this guy. And it lines up with your nipples. You're like, I feel so much better already. All my anxieties disappear. I need emotional support underwear, so that's... I'll make it. Don't clap loud enough. He's got a bowl full of pills, and the name tag says Xanax, so, pick that up after the show. They're made in America, if that's important to you. Just a bunch of Chinese kids in my basement, but I'm bringing jobs back. That's what's important. If you buy a t-shirt, I'll give you a free beer koozie, $700 value. Ooh. I'll also sell it separately if you're just an alcoholic. That's fine. It has all my social media on there. Just look me up and please be my friend. Andrew J. Rivers, Instagram, YouTube, OnlyFans, whatever service you prefer. There's a joke on the other side because I saw a bumper sticker one time. They said, cars are like wives. If it ain't yours, don't touch. I was like, what a dumb sticker. So I just made these. They say, cars are like wives. I accidentally banged yours. And I left a note. Calm down. Listen, insurance is going to cover it, 'cause she was total. Am I right? All right. Thank you guys very much. My name is Andrew Rivers.